Hey, how's it going out there? Rich Ramirez come to you from Pismo Beach, California. It's about 9 o'clock on a Tuesday night. Yes, I got my days right today. And tonight I want to talk about a section of the book, The Magic of Thinking Big, by Dr. David J. Schwartz. Okay. Um, this book was written back in 1959 or so. At least that's the copyright of it. Um, and I can honestly say that this is a used book. I honestly don't know how I came across it, but tonight it was sitting in my bookcase, and as I was thinking of trying to come up with something to say tonight, um, this book jumped out at me. And you can see here that I don't know if you can see, maybe not. No, maybe not. There's some few circles. Um, I don't know. Underlines of some sort, but in pencil. Okay, of the person who originally had this book. So, um, who knows? It could have even been my foreign exchange brother back in high school. Um, I do remember him reading lots of books, and I wasn't into reading back then, and that was over 20 years ago. Um, I think I was a junior at that time. So, anywho, as I'm scanning through this book, um, one of the one of the chapters happens to be of cure yourself of excusitis. Now, in other words, cure yourself of excuses. Okay. Um, this particular section goes into three ways to cure intelligence excuses, and it gives you three principal points. But the one I want to focus on in here is the age excuse, and it's funny that with this particular book being written back in late 50s, early 60s, that the two reasons were either you were too young or you were too old. And getting into the internet space today, often it's not of I'm too young, because these kids are starting when they're 12 years old now, learning everything about the internet. So they're growing up with how to do this, whereas those of us over 30 um, um, didn't grow up with that. We're having to learn how to use this stuff, um, and it might be even over 40, over 50. But I can honestly say that I know at least somebody in their 70s who is doing that. So, this particular story um, was on an individual. Okay, and I'll just go ahead and read this particular section. Age excusitis can be cured. A few years ago, while I was conducting a sales training program, I discovered a good serum which both cures the disease and vaccinates you, so you won't get it in the first place. In that training program, there was a trainee named Cecil. And Cecil, who was 40, wanted to shift over to set himself up as a manufacturer's representative. But he thought he was too old. After all, he explained, I'd have to start from scratch, and I'm too old for that now. I'm 40. I talked with Cecil several times about his old age problem. I used the old medicine. You're only as old as you feel. But I found I was getting nowhere. Too often people retort with, but I do feel old. Finally, I discovered a method that worked. One day after a training session, I tried it on Cecil. I said, Cecil, when does a man's productive life begin? He thought a couple of seconds and answered, Oh, when he's about 20, I guess. Okay, I said. Now when does a man's productive life end? Cecil answered, well, if he stays in good shape and likes his work, I guess a man is still pretty useful when he's 70 or so. All right, I said, a lot of folks are highly productive after they reach 70, but let's agree with what you just said. A man's productive years stretch from 20 to 70. That's 50 years in between, or half a century. Cecil, I said, you're 40. How many years of productive life have you spent? 20, he answered. And how many have you have left? 30, he replied. In other words, Cecil, you haven't even reached the halfway point. You've used up only 40% of your productive years. I looked at Cecil and realized he got the point. He was cured of age excusitis. Cecil saw he still had many opportunity-filled years left. He switched from thinking, I'm already old, to I'm still young. Cecil now realized that how old we are is not important. It's one's attitude toward age that makes it a blessing or a barricade. And this really, again, hits home for a lot of people who are I want to say in the bracket between 40 and 70 years old. Okay. Many people who feel that they're too old to learn anything new. You know, the old phrase of you can't train an old dog new tricks. Well, I'm sorry to say, but you're not an old dog. Okay? Today, 40 years old is the new 20. All right? So if 40 years old is the new 20, then 50 would make you 30, 60 would make you 40, 70 would make you 50. How many years of productive life do you still have left? Even at 70 years old, Colonel Sanders, who opened up Kentucky Fried Chicken, I think he himself was also 70, if I'm not mistaken, when he opened up that franchise. So change the way you look at things. Today, in the internet world, you are not working alone. Okay? You are in business by yourself, but you are never in business. You are in business for yourself, but never in business by yourself. If you find yourself lost and confused, there's one of two reasons. The biggest one is you're not getting the support that you need, and two, you don't have a team that helps you. And having a team is going to give you that support. So, what we're doing over here with my team is that we're having a webinar on Thursday that's going to show you exactly what we do over here and how two dads, two families decide to come together, work together as a team, became business partners, and to have made over $30,000 working together in less than 30 days. So, if they can do it, I know you parents out there can do it as well. So, to find out more information about that, go ahead and get back to me. Again, this is on Thursday night, just in a couple days away. And get rid of that fear of being too old. And learn how to use the leverage of others. Okay? That's really all I can say. Learn how to use the leverage of others. Okay? John Paul Getty said that I'd rather have the efforts of 100 people working 1% rather than the efforts of 100% by myself. Okay. So, are you putting in that 1% with your team? Although we say, you know, give it your best, give it your 100%, give it 110%. Okay. But when you have together, this huge team, how much are you putting into that team? What value are you bringing to the table? And I know you have a lot of value. Just dig deep. Find it. Use those gifts that you've been given. Alrighty. I'm talking too long already. So, remember to do what you love with passion. Give yourself grace for the mistakes that you have made, and continuously grow at least 1% than the day before. And did I mention that we're giving away a cash prize? I probably forgot about that, but you'll have to come out and check us out on Thursday if you want to know more. All right, take care.